the people in the house. This is the United States private enterprise free state with another public announcement. This is a continuation of yesterday's public announcement about the volcanoes, two volcanoes, um, one in California, which is in the United States, and the second volcano, which is in New Mexico, and it's called the Valles, Valles, Caldera, Caldera. So this portion is about the New Mexico volcano. Its last eruption was 68 comma 900 comma 1000 years BP. It's a super volcano. Who owns it? The federal government owns it. So when this volcano erupts, because it's going to erupt soon, what will be coming out of the volcano is high quality of obsidian for tools and weapons, is what obsidian is used to build the tools and weapons. So the federal government is going to be sweeping up all of that obsidian, creating more weapons to use against the people. What else is going to be spitting out of that volcano is gold, silver, copper, molybdenum, and gemstones, and perlite, potash, potash, and zeolites, zeolites. These are some of the major resources that will be coming out from the eruption of this volcano. And according to the history, this volcano is about to go off soon, which means that all the people that are in that northern part of New Mexico, they're probably being moved. Okay. Because the federal government owns that volcano and the federal government owns that land, meaning the federal government is going in. When that volcano erupts, they're going in to take all those precious metals, and that's from the land. That's why Trump is trying to make New Mexico and reconnect it back to the United States, because they want part of that precious metals when it comes out, because they want to use the obsidian also to build their weapons and tools of mass destruction. And you're going to have all of this gold and silver and copper all down there in New Mexico. You know how they had the gold rush back in the days out west? It's going to be another major gold rush in California when that other volcano erupts. And that volcano is erupting soon, because it hasn't erupted in over, they saying, like thousands of years. Okay, so peace to all my people in the chat. Peace to all my people in the chat. You got any questions, type it in the chat and I'll answer it. But back to this volcano. So if you want to be rich and wealthy, you put yourself where the next big gold rush, the next big volcano will be erupting. And that's what the federal governments do. That's what most of the rich elite people do. They hire, certain people to go in, mine after the volcano erupts because they don't want to do it. So they're going to pay cheap labor to go in and pull out the precious metals and minerals. So now they're rich beyond wealth. When in all actuality, everybody should be able to go into California, be able to go to New Mexico and pan for gold and silver, but it is not like that. So these two volcanoes are getting ready to erupt soon. Nobody knows when, but bet any amount of money that they have their machinery to see when, these volcanoes are overheating and when they're going to erupt, because when they do erupt, it's on and popping. That's the next wave of the new millionaires. It's through a volcano eruption. That's how a lot of states, countries, a lot of people, private people also have gotten rich. It's through the precious resources of the planet, which come through volcano eruptions. So my people, that is a public announcement that you definitely need, because if you are in a position where you can, relocate to New Mexico, northern New Mexico, then you maybe want to try to do it, because that volcano will be erupting soon. And it's a lot of money to be picked up out of the soil in New Mexico, northern New Mexico. California, the same thing. That's why some people, despite everything that's going on in Cali, they're moving there to Cali because some people know about the volcano. And now that I'm, giving you the news about the Long Valley Caldera in Eastern California, that volcano. So you got to look up the area if you want to relocate there and try to, stake out a place where you'll be able, to set up shop before an eruption. That's what most rich people do. They will go and, get a spot, get ready for the eruption, have their people go in. They come out millionaires, billionaires, because you find one rock of gold from the eruption, nice big chunk of that rock, you are paid. You know what I'm saying? And gold right now is over $2,000 an ounce. So you find you a rock out there after the volcano eruption worth 10 pounds. That's a lot of money. And that's what they do, because the United States, after these volcanoes erupt, the United States is going to be, the richest in the entire world on the planet, because of the next two volcano eruptions. The United States will be one of the richest, It's going to be so many people flocking here to the United States. That is why Trump is with this birthright citizenship. But it's he's trying to stop the foreigners from coming in here, trying to claim the wealth that's getting ready to erupt from these volcanoes. You have to think like a billionaire, a trillionaire. They think 100, 200 years in and ahead beyond the time scope of right now. So I'm giving you a piece of information that can make you highly rich if you put yourself in the right place at the right time to go in these places and try to swoop up some rocks. But in New Mexico, I don't think you'll be able to do it, because the federal government owns that volcano. This is so deep on how they just, steal land, and they only steal the land that they know that they can profit and just rape it of all its natural resources. Straight up. You know, how they rape women of a natural resource, telling her to get an abortion. You see that abortions are not highly prophesized anymore on TV. Get an abortion. Back in the days, that's all they would tell you: get an abortion, because that was rape of a woman, of her fetus, because the popes were taking the fetuses into their states and raising these babies. But I'm not even going to go there. So my people, straight up, you know, you can go back into your securities acts. You can go back into your land right acts. You can go and, because how can the federal government say that it owns a volcano? Nobody owns the land. Okay. God didn't give this land for nobody to own. You had to till and keep the land. You can't take the land with you when you leave, when you die. You go back to the soil, or you go back to the air. So, it's a bunch of bullshit on how somebody can say, we own this volcano. They're just trying to say, we have the first rights, that when it blows, we're the first ones going in. What's left over, that's on you. And they still probably block or they'll probably charge people to go on up to the volcano to go gold mining or silver mining, or, whatever mining. But the bottom line is that New Mexico volcano has the obsidian to create tools and weapons. So without the obsidian, they can't create their tools and their weapons of mass destruction. So my people, it's time to wake up. It's time to take back, if they can claim land, then we need to start claiming the volcanoes. We need to start claiming the volcanoes as ours. You need to start doing it. If that's the case, the federal government is doing it. Where's their paperwork that they own these volcanoes and these precious metals coming out of the volcanoes that make them wealthy? And we still act, and they still slave labor motherfuckers out here. They still slave labor you. They treat you like subjects unless you file your paperwork. So, people are not really woke to it. They don't even care. I know, I understand it's all about got to pay your bill, got to pay your mortgage, yada. You got your kids to take care of. Straight up, it's all great. It's all dandy. If you want to keep going that route, great. But when you turn around and look at the legacy of why is a people that has always been here, foot on the soil, okay, not lost at sea, never been a slave. You ain't never been a slave. That's all bullshit. The land is your land. This land is your land. This land is my land. That song that talked about that and named from where to where to where. So, it's nothing really that you can tell people that are free, because everybody's going to do what they want to do, and that's all well and good. But the bottom line is that nobody owns a fucking volcano. Okay? The volcano was here before fucking creation. The volcano is the fucking creation. The volcano was here before man. So how is the federal government going to say we own this volcano? And nobody's standing up to it, and everybody's acquiescing to that the federal government says that they own the super volcano in northern New Mexico. If we start writing in letters to New Mexico about this volcano and saying, no, you don't own it, I own it also. I have a piece of that. I do have a piece of that volcano, because my birth certificate is authenticated for New Mexico. Okay, so you got to really, really understand what's going down, my people. You really got to understand what's going down right now. They will just go in, and if you keep acquiescing, if you keep silent on this, I'm trying to tell you, everybody right now that is listening to me, they need to start writing to New Mexico about the volcano, and the volcano is called the Valles, second word Caldera, and it's in New Mexico, and basically it's in the northern part of New Mexico, which is the head. North is up. So we need to put in letters stating that we own a part of this volcano too. Because if you have ownership in the volcano, you have the right to go down there and be on the land. After that volcano cools and the land cools, you have the right to go in and pick up some gold rocks your damn self so that you could be rich how them motherfuckers do it. And you wonder why you still don't have shit, or we don't have shit, is because we don't have dibs on when the volcanoes are going to erupt. But I just gave it to you. You need to put your letter in, send it, find out the address for the consulate, for the federal court down in New Mexico. Put your letter in stating that you have part ownership in that volcano. Why? Because you are an American, okay? Straight up. You see, that is why Trump is doing what he's doing right now to get Mexico back as the Gulf of Mexico because of this volcano eruption. Trump is a businessman, and he's a smart businessman with the art of the deal. Okay? They've been watching this volcano for a long fucking time. So, you need to go find out the address for the federal government in New Mexico, write them an affidavit, get it notarized and authenticated that you have ownership in this volcano. If the federal government can have ownership in that motherfucker, you can. And if they don't agree with it, then you have to at least you did not acquiesce. And on this, where they're saying that they own it, can we see paperwork that you own this volcano? Okay, if you don't have paperwork that you own the volcano, then what you just wrote in a statement is fraudulent. Acts of treason. Acts of treason is death according to the Constitution and the treaty. So, people need to really wake up and get smart, straight up. Get smart. He had mad gadgets. All them gadgets came from the precious metals inside these volcanoes. Without the volcanoes erupting, they wouldn't have half of the weapons that they have right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's highly, highly, upsetting when you read that a federal government says that they own the volcano. The volcano was here before them. How can they own something that was here before them? And, I've already sent my letter out. So, I'm just waiting to see what they have to say because I'm not acquiescing. I own part of that volcano. And if I don't, you don't own it either. Straight up. Because at this point in the game, you're going to have to act like a cowboy. You have to act like a cowboy in this part of the game, my people. It's only cowboys that win in this game. You leave no prisoner alive. We're at peace, but we're at war. It's all happening at one single time. So if you don't wake up now and get your letters in, get them down to northern New Mexico about this volcano. You need to ask them, let ask for the federal government to show you the papers of ownership on this volcano. Put in for your ownership of part of that volcano. You know, this is real, my nigga. This is real. So, do you think people would react? Let me see. How am I gonna? Do you think people would react? Yeah. How do you think people would react? Well, people would react. React to what? React to um volcanoes erupting and other people becoming millionaires and billionaires, and you still at the same state you are because they moved you off the land so that they could go in and take what rightfully yours. People really need to wake up. Just what's up, Monkey D? What's up to TTV? What's up? People will react in many different ways. It's based on, you know, after how this volcano is going to erupt. We know it's going to spit out what the what we need to keep building, what we need to keep protecting ourselves. So, the Constitution, the treaty is the highest law of the land. So, my people, if you're dealing in treaty, you know, that's what you need to be dealing in with treaty laws, things like that, Constitution, things like that. You need to be dealing with your status, your nationality, your jurisdiction, because everything is status, everything is nationality, everything is jurisdiction. So that is why, you got to wake up to that, you are an American national, you're a state citizen, you're a state national, you are a lot. You just have to wake up to, you know, what and who you are. You have to, build your trust. You have to create your court, create your state. You gotta live. You gotta show proof. You gotta show evidence on who you are at all times. You can't let nobody walk over you because, you're aboriginal to the planet. So, my people, stay up, stay one, stay strong. And this is the United States Private Enterprise Free State with another public announcement. Public announcement. So, if you got any questions, type them in the chat right there, and I'll answer that question for you. You got any questions?